Joining us live from there, Conservative MP Jack Rankin. Good morning. And what are your plans for today?
Morning. Thank you for having me.
What are your plans for today, this day of unity?
Well, I'm here at Birkenman Farm with the Rayner family and local farmers, and they're taking the tractors as a huge convoy here today, going across the county and making that point that our food security really is our national security, and the family farm in the United Kingdom is in peril because of Labour's recent budget. So we're trying to raise awareness, and we're getting a lot of support, I think, from my constituents, whether they're urban or rural, who I do really think get this. So that's what we're doing today, and I know farmers right across the country are doing the same thing.
You understand how politics works. Obviously, the farmers get it, obviously. The supermarkets are getting it. The public get it, by and large. Why is the government not only not getting it, but it would appear to be refusing to listen?
Yeah, look, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves looked farmers in the eyes and said that they weren't going to attack British farming before the election, and they've broken that promise. And they continue really to mislead. They're saying that this will only affect a handful of farms, but we now know that's been thoroughly debunked, and this will affect over 100,000 farms. It will affect our food security. It will mean that as the generations change, these family farms will break up. This farm here, the Rayner farm, they've farmed this land since 1551. They've been here for centuries, and the real attack now that we're seeing on British farmers means that they will, and farmers like them, will have no chance, no alternative but to sell up to mega developers and corporations. That's what this means for British farming. So I think you say, I know how politics works. The Labour Party now have a lot of rural MPs. You know, they won such significant swathes of the country, so we really need to get that pressure on. So I do implore all of your listeners and watchers today to get onto your MPs and make sure that this is important to them, because it's not just a rural issue. This is about the costs in our supermarkets. As you say, we've now got Tesco, Morrison's, Co-op, M&S, all raising that red flag, saying that this is going to affect costs in shops, and it's going to affect our national food security, I'm afraid.
We are told that there are individual MPs who have rural constituencies, they're Labour MPs, and they do sympathise with their farmers. They do care, because those are farmers in their constituencies. And yet they do not have the courage, apparently, to vote against the government on this. What do you think they should do?
Well, I think that's very brave, is what I'd say to them. The public are really fed up of straight down the line party politicians. People don't vote in the same way they used to for blue or for red. They're interested in what their local MP is doing for their local area, and they want a little bit of independence, I would say to them. And so if I was a rural Labour MP, I'd say, well, what's more important to you? You know, a little minor job in the Labour whips, or is it getting re-elected? We represent our constituents first and foremost, and our country second. Our party is very much a distant third, so I'd say be careful what you wish for, rural Labour MPs, because the anger is palpable, and I don't think it's just amongst farmers directly affected. People in this country have a lot of kinship, I think, with our farmers. They understand how hard they work. They know the kind of, okay, they might be asset rich, but they know they're not making a lot of money, and they want British produce on the shelves. So I don't even think this is just a rural Labour MP issue. I think this is a national issue which constituents right up and down the land are interested in.
I mean, yes, I mean, we cannot forget, can we, that these farmers, they're not in it for the money, clearly, because they don't make a lot of money. They are custodians of our green and pleasant land. How can that ever be forgotten?
Yeah, look, you might hear from my accent. Look, I'm an urban guy originally, but so there's a perception sometimes that some of our farmers can be quite wealthy, because obviously they do sit on material land holdings. But this, as I say, the Rayners here have farmed since 1551. They're not selling it. They are the custodian for the next generation. And they farm the land, they're not cash rich. And so if you apply a tax like this on the turn of the generations, the fact is that the farm can't sustain that level of tax. And then the farms get broken up. They'll be broken up for development or sold to mega corporations. And you'll end centuries of farming in our countryside. And that will be devastating, I think, for all of us, because the custodians, both for their descendants, but frankly for all of us, the countryside that I think we all love and cherish.
A lot of our viewers make the remark that if our farmers were French farmers, they'd be on strike by now. Do you think that's likely?
I don't know about that. I have been encouraging our farmers to get down in Whitehall, you know, and stuff central London up a little bit. We've seen that the Met Police sometimes let people do that. So I'm sure there won't be a two-tier applied if our farmers do that. I think they should be being a bit more disruptive, and actually I think they would have public support on this. So I'm encouraging them to be, a little bit more full frontal on this, because this is the kind of thing that if we lose it, we'll never ever get it back.
No, that's the thing. It's a one-way street, isn't it? Jack Rankin, thank you very much indeed. Good to see you this morning.